oh God, what's that phrase I keep saying? It's heritage, not nostalgia. But there's kind of also what we're discussing has an element of nostalgia about it, doesn't it? Really, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, people say that nostalgia is not where it used to be, but it's nothing wrong with talking about the past in the sense that we are. But it's also tied in with our changing world, isn't it? You know, Paddy's talking about when he went out in Black Hill Club on a Friday night with a big bunch of mates. Now he probably goes out with 2 or 3 people on a Friday night, and I think that's
got nothing to do with his mates.
more to do with Paddy. They can't stand him anymore.
Right, they've had enough. You know.
They've had enough. Bit by bit, they've cleared up. But I mean, if you kind of take the bunch of people around here as an example of what's happened since 1980, it's not a bad cross section, is it? I'm just setting that up as a question.
Yeah, but when we used to go out drinking when we were younger, it was part of the camaraderie of working within the steelworks, because you could meet people from other departments and you could relate to things that's happened or what's happened in this department, and you heard what was happening throughout the steelworks, because someone had an accident or someone had done something stupid, or see how much money he made this week. How the hell did he get that many shifts? You know, why didn't I not get that time and a half shift? Why did the buddy system? Yeah, that was one of the funniest things. Where
what system, sorry?
The buddy system.
Well, how did that look?
Well, what happened was, if you're working shifts, the person who came to replace you on the shift, if he came in early, he could clock on and you could clock off straight away. You never actually stopped 2 to 10. But the system was abused quite a lot of the time, where you were clocked off quite soon. It seemed like 2 to 10 hours to see you used to have to race along. But they're a fact and everyone knows about them, and it's not a thing that's water under the bridge as far as
It was the culture.
It was a culture that everybody did. Your buddy came in, let you away, and you got away for a couple of extra pints. But it worked quite well, and sometimes you clocked off thinking that your buddy was going to come in, and you didn't turn in for that shift. It caused a few problems. you clocked yourself out and clocked him in, and then.
But with our system, we were on the staff, and if your buddy didn't come in, you didn't go home.
Oh no.
Worked some 16-hour shifts before, if some, weather-wise or something. But if he didn't come in, you didn't go home. Especially on a weekend, because they couldn't find anybody from the day shift to come and cover for you. So you worked 16 hours. I mean, you didn't mind sometimes because it was overtime, but you weren't allowed to go till your buddy came in. Well, we used to finish at 6 o'clock in the morning, come back at 2 o'clock, didn't we? We used to have the quick returns. We used to go home, have a couple of hours and come back at 2 o'clock. It worked so you had a long weekend once a month or something, didn't it? It worked.
Well, John and I used to work a good shift system, wasn't it? It was 4 days on and 2 days off to keep it. And continental shift. So you work 4 days, 2 days off. And more often than not, you were asked to go and work your days off. So you got double time on a Sunday, double time and a half on a Saturday, double time on a Sunday, and it was your days off Monday and Tuesday. You got time and a half again for the Monday and Tuesday for you to work your days off.
Yeah. What was the normal shift? The continental shift was 2:10.
2-2-3, wasn't it? The continental shift.
2-2-3, yeah.
And then night shift.
2 6 or 2s, 2 till 10s, and 3 night shifts.
Well, there's another system
Was that the shift pattern by the end, or was that throughout?
No, we used to work 7. We used to work 7 on a row. When I first started in 65 at the steel plant labs, we used to work 7 6-2s. And then 2 days off, 7 2-10s.
And then the change of the continental system.
And then the change of the continental system, you work 2-3s. And there was a way that used to finish at 6 o'clock in the morning, start at 2, and then the next week you finished at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and you had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you went back 2 to 10 Monday. So it was what class. It was a long weekend
off once a month.
Yeah, you had a long weekend once a month. But as Joe said, everybody was that keen. You used to work your days off. I mean, we used to work 1 to 10 on a Saturday to let anybody go if they were going to Newcastle Sunday football matches. So we used to go 6 to 1. We used to go at 1 o'clock, or if you wanted, you go in at 12 o'clock because nothing to do. And then hopefully the next time that shift came up, they came in 12 o'clock for you.
Well, we used to work our days off doing contracts. Rather than bring outside contractors in, we would put a price in, which would be competitive against the contractor. and we'd be awarded the contract. So you work your days off, and you used to get a gang of your workmates together, and used to form a little cooperative sort of thing, and used to work your days off. So with my 2 days off, I'd be working on this contract. The other lad who's next 2 days off, he'd be working on it. So, and that's
So
where
it was like a kind of riveting squad in the shipyard that did a very similar thing. They would get a prize, so tank cleaners, they would
Yeah,
get a
That's
prize
right,
for the job.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
and it was
Mhm.
we used to make extra money for
We
extra
used to
holiday.
make some good money.
Make
too.
some good
Yeah.
money, and used to
Mhm.
pay for the bits of holidays and
Mhm.
going towards doing your house up or
Did that
car.
apply throughout the works, did it?
Only in the maintenance section that we were in,
Like shutdown periods, wasn't
the
it?
shutdown periods, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Mhm.
I worked,
Blast relays.
I worked at the paper mill, and I left the paper mill. 6 months after I left, they had a problem over in Canada, and they asked me and Peter Murphy, still lives up, big golfer, me and Peter to work 9 months non-stop, 12 hours a day, without a day off.
Greedy devils.
Well, if I was day shift on a 37-hour week, so I was working continuous, so I was working 84 hours a week on shifts, and you got a third shift allowance, I think,
Yeah.
plus overtime. Imagine, I mean, you counted the days of them 9 months, and we worked on the shot blast plant at Helensgill for 9 months without a day off, allegedly.
Mhm.
But you did it, and you were asked to do it. Because we were that desperate to get the job out. It was in order for Rio Nitoy Bridge in, somewhere, and we'd made a real pig's ear of it. That'd be put right. And they offered us the money. And we almost, like Joe, we almost said how much we wanted. We want overtime, we want this. But of course we weren't on the clock. So there was days where, when they were on export, you couldn't get a crane. So I went in for 10 to 6 and come on a night, or 10 to 10 on a night, and come back and watch Match of the Day. But that was just, they knew it was going on, but they wanted us, they were so desperate for us to work for 9 months. If there was nothing on, you came home and you still got paid. So you can imagine how much money I made in 9 months. It took the pay department 6 months after I finished the contract to get me overtime paid off. Seriously, we had a book with every single shift we worked in it. And every time you got your pay slip, you crossed it off, and they always missed. Like you said, I was always a pound short or something. And you added that on the next month, and it took 6 months for Joe Nutt, you remember Joe, to sort out me pay. But they just paid you, made an absolute fortune.
Some of the contracts went bust. And that caused a few problems.
It certainly did, Joe.
I remember
Yeah.
working 2 days, think there was money on the contract, and I didn't get a penny. I worked 2 days for nothing.
He did, bud.
He did.
Aye.
You got paid a lot of other days when you did that, didn't you?